Okay, good afternoon, class. So today my lecture will be the last lecture, okay? So, are you happy? I read every day. Let me stop. Sadhu. You always a sadhu. So now I want to explain thought process rapidly again, okay? Because of thought process, after studying Chitta, Cetasika, Rupa thoroughly, we should explain. So dealing with seeing on an object, seeing an object, how thought process arises within us. We should study about that. I am this very object. When visible object come into being or manifest into the I, so thought process arises within us. Let me use diagram to illustrate the meanings, to clarify the meanings. For example, that is, I will give you only 0. That is a unit of mind. You know, that is a Bhavanga. Bhavanga Chitta alone never arises. For example, that Bhavanga for human beings. Bhavanga Chittas are 90. Later you will know about that, okay? So, according to human being, Bhavanga Chittas are one of the Mahavipaka, one of 8 Mahavipaka. Therefore, 33 Ceitasikas, 33 Ceitasikas of mental properties possible. That is one unit. When Bhavanga Citta arises, 33 Ceitasikas arises together with it. Okay? This is as a maximum number, not minimum numbers. Minimum numbers. Then second, Panchadvara Vachana. I give it P. P is Panchadvara Vachana. Five-to adverting consciousness. This five-to adverting consciousness associated with 10 mental properties. Mental Ceitasikas are 10. You can read the books. You should be searching for these 33 or 10. I did not explain these. 7 universes in 6 particular or occasional, okay? Out of them. Then after that, this I consciousness. When I consciousness arises, 7 thought process, mental properties arises with it. Okay? Then, Samvedana, receiving consciousness. When Samvedana arises, there are 10 mental state Ceitasikas arises together with it. After that, the Santirana. When Santirana arises, there are 11 or 10. Santiranas are 3. Somanas Santiranas 11. Okay? Upekha Santirana 10. There is a Sambadechana, there is a Santirana. Okay? I think it is not capacities. Not capacities. I think a small I okay, Bhavanga and 33. Panchadvara Vachana is 10 in the properties. In Chakra Vijnana 7. Sambadechana receiving consciousness 10. Santirana 11 or 10. Okay. Then Vatavana 11. Then Javanas can be classified into two. There is a akusala (27). Akusala with the akusala is 27. With the kusala mahakusala is 38. Okay. This object must be this present object. Only towards one object, these chetas arises one after the others. Number 1, B plus 33, okay? Yeah, akusala 27, kusala 38. 27, all akusalas 27. You can notify? 30 anya samana and 40 akusala. 40 akusala. 30 and 14. Together 27. This is a generally given the meaning. Okay? All akusalas together. Isn't that? Yes. Bhavanga Chetas. Bhavanga Chetas are 19. Bhavanga Chetas are 19 among 89 Chetas. Only Vipaka Chetas. These Vipaka Chetas are not all Vipaka Chetas. These Chetas which serve as a Patisandhi. Yeah, they are called Bhavanga. They are also called Chutti. So, any life, Patisandhi, Bhavanga, Chutti are the same. Okay? So, within beings, Patisandhi Chetas are 19. Roughly, I will explain. 2 Santirana. You know Santiranas are 3. Do you remember Ahitika Chetas 80? So, if you study Abhidhamma, first you should memorize the name and numbers. First you should try. Now, we are only just enumeration, not explain in this way. Okay? First we should study about Chaita, after that Cetasika, then how associated Chaita and Cetasikas with each other, after that how they arise as depending on which object, what is depending on which conditions, like that we must understand. Based on depending on which base also. So mind and matters mutual relation. You see, that is a metta. Okay. Metta, these are my mind and matter is a mutual relation. Depending on I am visual object, such a mind arises within us. This mind arises within us. Sorry, this not this one. Bhavanga's not this object. You must mention Bhavanga's object is separate, former object. Not this object. Okay? Since Panchadvara Vachana, this is this object. When this object comes into manifest on the eye, Bhavanga Chaita arises fast. Bhavanga Chaita continuously arising in our mind. Perceiving the former object. Bhavanga object, we should say this is passive mind. Okay? Command normally is going on. After that, when new object come into being, this Panchadvara Vachana, five-door adverting consciousness, open to the gate. Okay? Five-door adverting consciousness open to the gate. It's facing to new object, perceiving new object first. Then, Chakku Vijnana Chaitas arises, seeing the object. It's the present visible object. After that, receiving the object, some Patechana Chaitas arises. After that, investigation, that object, Sandirana Chaitas arises. These Chaitas are one after the other. We should understand like that. When Bhavanga Chaita disappear, Panchadvara Vachanas arises. When Panchadvara Vachanas disappear, Chakku Vijnana Chaitas appear. When Chakku Vijnana Chaita disappear, Samadhichanas appear. Two Chaitas cannot arise within us simultaneously. No two Chaitas arise simultaneously. Only one Chaitas can arise. Okay? But they have different functions. When Bhavanga Chaitas disappear, this Chaita arises. Okay? When this Chaita, each Chaita have only short 3 moments. Arising moment, stated moment, and fallen, passing moment. Only 3 moments. After that it disappears. When that disappears, the other Chaitas arises. When these Chaitas arises within us, we say, I see. Okay? I see, we say. But actually, there is nothing to point out I. Only phenomena arises, mind and matters. Only mind and matters arises. Such an analysis of mind and matter is to remove the idea of I. Okay? to remove the idea of I. Very long time, we have attachment to I, always thinking there's I. But there's no I, only phenomena. Phenomena alone arises, we should understand like that. So in Visuddhimagga, it is explained, Perin paticca saddho viya rupam paticca nama bhavati. Here we should understand, I and visible objects are matter. Okay? I and visible objects are matter. Depending on these matters, Bhavanga, Pancadara, Vachana, Chakku, Vijnana, Sampadechana, Santirana, Vatavana, Chavana, these minds arises. As the sound arises due to the drum, okay? Depending on drum, sound arises. Like that, depending on matter, mind arises. Mind formed Chaita and Chaitasika. So Chaita alone never arises. Chaita associated with it. Chaita arises together with the associated Chaitasikas. Not all Chaitasikas, associated Chaitasikas. They have a different Chaitasikas associated with it. Visuddhimagga explained, Purimam Vejade Chaitam Pachimam Jayade Jado. Purimam Vejade Chaitam means the prior consciousness breaks up. The prior consciousness breaks up. The subsequent is born from that. Only one by one, one after one. Okay, cannot arise together these Chaitas. Born from that. Prior consciousness breaks up, the subsequent is born from that. Purimam Vejade Chaitam Pachimam Jayade Jado. That is the meaning. When the prior mind disappears, the following mind appears. When you study Patthana explains there are 24 conditions. Out of 24 conditions, there are Nati Pachayo and Vikata Pachayo. Nati Pachayo means when it appears, it gives a chance to appear other minds. Okay? That is the meaning like that. If there's, for example, if there is a precedence working, but the successor cannot have his position. When the precedence resigns, another precedence can go to office. Like that, when Bhavanga disappeared, Panchadvara Vachana Chaitas appeared. When Panchadvara Vachana Chaitas disappeared, Chakku Vijnanas appeared. But you should understand, Bhavanga Chaita alone never arises. It arises together with 33 Chaitasikas. That is called Bhavanga Chaita. Sometimes referring to only Chaita. But Chaita alone never arises. That is one unit. I give this only one unit. This is the smallest unit of mind. If Bhavanga Chaita arises, we should understand 33, according to the mind, 33 Chaitasikas arises. When 5 to advancing consciousness arises, 10 mental states arises together with it. Okay? So we should understand in this way. But we not study about these. If you you have the fundamental Abhidhamma copies, okay? What do you mean? Please. Yes. All together, Chaita and Chaitasikas all together. Okay. This I give the maximum number, yes, all 33. Not always, maximum numbers I give. Maximum numbers I give, not minimum. So there is always, you can say this, Chakku Vijnana and 7, this is always, you can say, always. Chaitas 1, Chaitasikas 7, altogether 8. That is one unit. That is the smallest unit of mind. Cannot be separated, inseparable. The others are given according to maximum numbers, not minimum numbers. Okay? That's depending on condition. For example, Chavana Agusalas 27. That is also generally speaking. Loba Mula, if Loba Mula Chaitas 22. If a Dosa Mula Chaita is 22, if a Moha Mula Chaita is 16. Among them also, first Loba Mula Chaita is only 18. But in D-Day, as a D-Day, I explained a fundamental Abhidhamma. First you should study fundamental Abhidhamma, okay? According to it. But I want to explain. When Chaita arises, Chaitasikas arise together. This Chaitasikas also associated to Chaitasika, not all Chaitasikas. First we should study Chaita and Chaitasika, how to associate. According to the 4 characteristics of association, how to understand the association depending on one base towards the same object. Okay? Towards the same object, arising together, ceasing together. Okay? They must depend only one base. Towards only one object. Then arising together, ceasing together. This is 4 characteristics of association.
So if there is an impingement, is it so that each of these micro-moments has the same Chaitasikas, or that each moment has only different Chaitasikas?
Different Chaitasikas. Different means, you see, the same type of Chaitasikas. Yeah, the same type. But having arise and never arises again. You see, this is one of the Phassa Vedana Sannyas also. Phassa Vedana, 7 universes associated with all. This is the same type. I mean, the passing away Chaitas, pass away Chaitasikas and never arise again. But such a type of Chaitasikas arise. We should understand like that. It's a fire. When fire extinguished, the fire extinguished, it has gone. Another fire is coming to be. But fire is the same fire. But not totally one. Not that one which is passing away. We cannot get back the fire which is extinguished. Okay?
Would it be so that because the part of the Chaitanya seems to be Vipaka, so perhaps it is the Vipaka is Ahusa. Is it so that the Chaitanya of the Karma is also Ahusa? Is it that, for example, the whole Chaitanya cannot be Ahusa? Or is it possible?
That is cannot be said only akusala. You see, these vipakas cannot be changed. According to depending on object and depending on object, the thought process initialize. This for example, this bhavanga Panchadara Vachana, Chaksuvinyana, Samadechana, Santirana are vipakas. They are rise. They are only the result of previous karma, but they arise depending on present object, present conditions. But they have to rise as a result of former akusala. Because we are also using previous karma, we were born as a human being. But depending on present conditions, we act. Isn't that? But we are, because of previous karma, we are born here previous karma, so we are the result of previous karma. But we act in present life, that is dependent on present conditions. Javanas are, you see, javanas are dependent on ayoniso manasikara, kusala javana arises, depending on ayoniso manasikara. That is also present conditions. Present condition. When javana arises, depending on present conditions, not the former conditions. Uttapana means only determine only the present object. Determine all present object. Yeah, but Uttapana is not a vipaka. Naisa kriya, naisa kusala, no akusala, no result of karma vipaka. It is a kriya. Yes, Uttapana is manodhara vachana. Only Vatavana here performed as a Vatavana. Only Manodhara Vachana, mind to advancing consciousness, performed Vatavana in Paidu. In Paidu. Manodhara Vachanas work in Paidu and Mindu, both. In Mindu, it is mentioned as a Manodhara Vachana. In Paidu, it's mentioned as a Vatavana. So, different functions. This Cheda has different functions. In Mindu, this Cheda is called Manodhara Vachana. In Paidu, that the same Cheda is called Vatavana. Okay? Because of different functions. Vatavana is determinations of one function. Mindu adverting is one function. Different functions performed. Okay? But the Cheta we yes. Hmm? Hmm? Yeah, you see, our mental process, thought process, since we are start our life, mental thought process never interrupt. Having different objects. When there is not a new object, it's former object. With the depending on former object, mind thought process continued. There is a new object come into being. At that time, this perceiving former object, Bhavanga Chetas arises. Why Bhavanga Chetas arises? It is, we should know the example. When we run, if we want to stop immediately, but we cannot stop immediately, it's need to 2-step or 3-step. Isn't that? The runner cannot stop immediately, but have to continue to 2-step or 3-step. After that, it can stop. Like that. Firstly, the former object, depending on former object, Cheta process, thought process arise. When the new object come into being, cannot cease immediately. It's continued to 2-3. So, only when Panchadara Vachana arises as a new object come into being. Okay? This is Bhavanga, yes. Yeah. Previous life means Patisandi, when Patisandi, this life object. This life object means when Patisandi perceived the object, only that object Bhuanga perceived. Chuti also perceived the same object. Yes. So our life is started with Patisandi, okay? I explain. Our Patisandi is started. That is the starting point of our life. This new life, present life. Okay? The previous life, the end is Chuti. That is another previous life. Present life started relinking my Patisandi. The Patisandi's object is always Bhuvanga's object, Chuti's object in one life. Okay? This is totally the same. Totally the same. Normally this must be. For example, Patisandi's objects are roughly we can say three. Karma, Karma Nimitta, and Gati Nimitta. Three. Karma means, you see, before we die in previous life, about to die at that time, the objects come into being with passive object, a passive. Okay? This cannot be changed. For example, our Patisandi's object is Gati Nimitta. So Bhuvanga's objects are also Gati Nimitta. Must be Gati Nimitta. The whole life. Only Patisandi Cheda is called Bhuvanga. Only Patisandi Chedas are called Chuti. Because only the same Chedas named according to their period. The first mind, the first Cheda is Patisandi because it is linked former life and present life. Therefore, this Cheda is called Patisandi. After that, it's called Bhuvanga. Because of Bhuvanga, when not new object come into being, our life thought process continued. You can guess when we are sleeping, at that time Bhuvanga Chetas arises within us. When we dream, not only Bhuvanga Chetas, sometimes Viti Chetas arises, mixed sudden. Only Bhuvanga Chetas cannot dream. Yes. It's just this going on. So where is the middle? You can see. I think some thinkers are putting into the Sotapana. Just a killing. Sotapana? Huh? Like free will. Free will. There is a possibility to be time really to we are conditioned to want. And some thinkers were thinking that the moment of what happened. What happened now? It's all coming off. Yeah. Maybe it's the point of free will. Does the free will also have conditions? If it had conditions, it's depending on condition. It must be different. Isn't that? Cannot be the same because depending on conditions. If conditions are different, it's a different type of what have an arising. Isn't that? Yeah, conditions are different. No. It's say what happened as a free will. Even say whatever not have conditions. Without the condition, no arises. Therefore, if say free will also depending on condition. I mean so like it. Okay? Yeah. And this is some philosophers saying free will. Chawana. This also can say, I think. Chawana. Free will and other ways that they explain, I think. What is a free will? According to them? What is free will? According to desire. According to there is a natural also depending on other conditions.
Because the nature, if we say there is no free will, so everything is free. Everything is free, everything is.
Oh. And within faith, if we faint, unconscious, faith.
One view is free will. We can decide freely whether we do this or that. Whether we think in this way or that. And if this free will does not exist, then it says automatically it will be like a thing. And listen.
Yeah.
That's the right to determine our
Yeah.
But not only these two.
No, the Buddha is, according to it, according to I think they reject present conditions. It is so they reject the present conditions. They deny the present conditions. Because of present conditions, it is can arises. For example, for a person, he has idea, I must do what should be done. I must do what should be done. The other things, I must do what should not be done, maybe. But this is depending on other conditions. That conditions may be the advice of his parents, the advice of our teachers, experience. So many conditions, present conditions. They do not recognize these conditions. Therefore, they say free will. So the Buddha explained two conditions: previous conditions, present conditions. More emphasis in present conditions. We can change our mind depending on present conditions. Okay? If we learn Dhamma, our idea is to become different, not like a Puma. Because of learning Dhamma, we change our minds also. This is present conditions. Isn't that? Yeah. Third process is Chaitanya, psychic auras. Like that, when the sun, in the morning the sun rises and the evening is set, when the winter is coming to being, after that there's summer, spring, like that. This is Udu Niyama. When winter is coming to being, in some countries there are snows is fall, like that. So there is a niyama. Niyama means aura. Okay? According to niyama, they arise. There is a called psychic aura, Chaitanya. When winter comes into being, who created the snow to fall? When there's a rainy season, who created to pour rain? So like that, when the objects come into being, manifest into the eye, According to Chaitanya Niyama, these Chaitas arise as one after the other. But that we cannot say that is naturally, not accidental. It's all depending on. There's a conditions. Without a condition, they never arise. Isn't that? Have conditions, yeah? And that object, Javana decide. Javana is important. Yeah? To remember such changes arise again and again. After that is remembrance. Yeah. Javana's enjoyment of the object. The others only support in Javanas. You see, they have different functions, different work. Panchagara Vachanas only present to the object, open to the gate to new object. Its function is finished. After that, it disappears. It disappears as normal. Then, Chakkavinyana appears. Its function is to see the object. Okay? To see the object. After seeing, Chakkavinyana disappears. Its functions are only that. No enjoying and not decide what is that. Only just to see. After that, Sampadechana arises. Perceiving the object. Perceiving is his functions. After performing the functions, Sampadechana disappear. Different functions. Then Sandirana arises. Sandirana investigates the object. After investigating, Sandirana disappear. So different functions they have. After that, what happened? Determine the present object. After that, what happened? Disappear. Then Javana arises, forcibly. This is Javanas enjoying the present object. Only Javanas enjoying the object. Enjoy means if he said he see, mind so he said appeared. If happy, so happiness appeared in mind. And got it depending on conditions. Yes, Radhamana arises. Radhamana says yes, only registration. Actually, the Radhamana in text it is called Radhamana is not other things, only Bhavanga. Therefore, the Radhamana is called Peti Bhavanga, and Abhidhamma is used. But this, nobody noticed when did not say, nobody. It's how to say, the Radhamana it's not thoroughly studies Abhidhamma. The Radhamana that is only Bhavanga. But the Bhavanga is not former object. That Bhavanga is not former object. It is perceived Javana's object. Therefore, it is named Radhamana. But the Radhamana is only Bhavanga. In Abhidhamma text is said Peti Bhavanga, last Bhavanga. Peti means back. Okay? Peti literally means back. Yeah, but it perceived only Javana object. Therefore, registration, they say. You see, the Radhamana Chaitas are only Patisandhi Bhavanga Chaitas. In Abhidhamma text is mentioned as a Peti Bhavanga. Bhavanga. Peti, P-I-T-T-H, under dot with acronym. Peti. Peti means back. Peti Bhavanga. Yes. Huh? No. Yes. Chaita and Chaitasikas arise together, you see. Yeah. Functions are together following this. For example, I will say, you see, Chakru Vijnana, Jeta, its function is seeing. Okay? To see it, who are supporting? Which dhammas are supporting? Phassa, Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Ekagata, Jivitendriya, Manasikara are supporting. To perform. If you understand this Jeta, Chakru Vijnana, Jeta, eye consciousness, where eye consciousness arises, at that time, 7 universal Chetasikas arises. Okay? 7 universal Cetasika arises. Do you remember 7 universal? Contact, feeling, perception, volition, one-pointedness, psychic life, and attention. They are working together to the object. But mainly we talk about only Chakru Vijnana, seeing. They are supporting Chakru Vijnana to see. They keep jumping. Okay? Like that, we also, in present life, we also, what are you doing? If someone walking, what are you doing? He asks, what will be his answer? I'm walking. Isn't that? He will say, I'm walking. Someone walk. At that time, if we ask, what are you doing? He will say, I'm walking. What is walking alone possible? He must see something when he walk, or hear something, thinking something. But he point out only walking. Isn't that? But because walking is his major business. Main work. Yes?
In practice, what level of awareness is possible? Are we capable of being aware of one group of 17 minimum or less? Or what level of awareness are we working on in practice?
Awareness of? What do you mean? Possible meditation. You want to know that it's possible to meditate on it? Only some is possible, not all, because of initialization is how to understand. Everything we cannot understand, only main, but there a process must be. Process must be. If you think about driving a car on the road, there are many processes to drive a car. It's running on the road, it's many processes. But you can notice running on the road. Like that, you can meditate on enjoyment or peace. But initial process, it is impossible. It's also not necessary, I think. It's very difficult to understand because the process is so quick. But the Buddha explains it in this way process. Otherwise, there is a disorderly cannot arise. This may be disorders abnormal. Our minds will be crazy. This orderly, psychic orderly arises always. We may notice or not notice it. There is psychic orders arises like that. You can meditate it only jhana, when jhanas arises. Yeah. Yes. But it is impossible to know. Only one witty is also not. No. Many witties, many Jeta witties, we can perceive the object. Otherwise, we don't know. Like a generator. You should think about a generator. Generators many rounds, then produce electricity. Okay?
I haven't seen one study, just one of these micro momentums
There is the meaning in Mekha Viti. When Mekha arises, it is burn down all kilesa which concern. Only explain like that. Only explain. When arises, it is very powerful. The knowledge is also very powerful, you see. Yes. When we have a knowledge, ignorance is just fear. It is impossible to. But according to that process, Chaita arises, we should know that. Without a process, it cannot. Everything should have a process, I think. Isn't that? Even when we walk, for example, when we walk, what is fast arises within us? Roughly, I will explain. When we walk, first, I want to walk. The Chaitas arises first. These Chaitas are not only one Chaitas process. I want to walk. First, the ideas come into being. Then he trying to walk. So, and walking also, when we raise up our leg and get down our legs, it's a different process. This Chaita arises, after that these Chaitas produce metta, therefore we can raise up lift our leg, down our leg, different thought process arises. But we can meditate only two. One and get, one and down, one and raise up. Only one. Kachando wa kachamiti pajanati, only we can see. Only can meditate. Not the process. But according to process, we can raise up our leg. Okay? Even open the mouth, as many thought processes are necessary to open. Who open our mouth? That's because want to open, Chaitas arises. The power of Chaita is material process, mind process working to open. That's like a machine, you see. If you study thought processes, very interesting. Very interesting. But we should have this knowledge first. After that, we should think about these thought processes. Now, that is so earlier to explain this one. But yes. Brain, mainly the Buddhas are not explained. There's also mental processes should be a material process. Depending on mental process, material process also working together. Material process must be. There's a brain and material process also. You see. The Buddhas are only explained when visible object coming to manifest the I. There's material process explained. Only here two conditions. After that, such a mind arises one after the other. Yes? According to it, this up to it, this is again, we can decide this one, Chavana. Chavana's experience and learning, mindfulness, we can change it, Chavana's. We can change it. The others are impossible because they are only psychic orders. they arise in like automatically as a process. But the jhavanas depending on present conditions. If we cultivate the yoniso manasikara, kusala jhavana will arise. If there's ayoniso manasikara, akusala jhavana arises within. This jhavanas is possible to change kusala or akusala. If we cannot free from suffering. We have no chance to attain nirvana. Isn't that? So, all are depending on conditions. Yes. We can change. If we cannot change jhavana, we cannot be good person from bad person. There are, in practical way, we know some people are, before they are ego persons. After that, the advisor, their friend, good friend, he became good person. He avoid absence, some misconduct. So become good person. That is because of, you see, we can change jhavanas. Okay? That is depending on conditions, kusala, akusala. Mainly, kusala arises depending on yoniso manasikara. Akusala arises depending on ayoniso manasikara. So, yoniso manasikara, it is also have conditions. By learning, by listening Dhamma, by studying Dhamma, by practicing meditation, yoniso manasikara arises. So therefore, parents advise their children so how to behave, how to keep your mind. So how to behave, the parents advise their sons or daughters. According to their advice, depending on the advice of parents, they follow, they behave like that. So that is depending on conditions. Okay? So there are so many things to explain. So you should read this. I give some of to meditate. You have these are very nice to contemplate. Meditation on I. Okay. Meditation on I. First, you should do enjoyment of I, unsatisfactoriness of I, liberations of I, morning I explain. After that, reasoning. Reasoning is also very simple. Buddha explained reasoning. Did you read about it? Did you read these lines? Please read and contemplate, consider. These are very nice Buddha's teachings. Okay? This is just a translation from suttas. You have, each one have copy, no? Noche Asara Sutta is very interesting. Very interesting. Noche Asara. Then after that, meditation on I also. Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta. How to contemplate it on the I. Then advantage. Then Advaita Sutta discourse on burning. Okay? I think you can understand these because you have a lot of Dhamma knowledge, not little knowledge. More than little. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Therefore, we are more knowledge, much more knowledge. Isn't that? So, okay. Is there anything do you want to know? How many things? Malochaputa Sutta is very interesting to read out. Let me correct page number 7. Page number 7. Adanta Sutta. Do you find? Adanta Sutta, because I that is untamed, unguarded, unwatched, unrestrained, brings about suffering. Because I that is well tamed, well guarded, well watched, well restrained brings about happiness. So okay. In Pali, Desavana Rupani Manoramani Atopi Desavana Amanoramani Manorame Rakapatam Vinodeye Nacha Piyam Meti Manang Ya. You should correct it. Not R-P, but also A. Not R-P must be. I stick out, okay? But also P-A, necessarily P-A, not R-A. So I want to correct this one, Padosaye. Okay? That is also very beautiful. Seeing lovely forms or seeing ugly forms, remove the craving for lovely forms. Do not lose your temper. I hate the other. So you should how to contemplate the eye, how to restrain the eye. Okay? Malucha Buddha also very nice to contemplate. Next time, I want to get the news from you. We can recite, we can memorize all the Malucha Buddha, Suttas, all verses here. Not now. Later. It will be so happy. Okay, to contemplate it, you should memorize some verses. Next time. Next time means not next year. Okay, now it's the time to stop. Not for that. For explanation, sadhu, okay. Asleep.